I'd like to start off with some gratitude because our senior staff at the town of Port Hawkesbury have stepped up in a big way. They had worked tirelessly to produce a very flexible and nimble pandemic plan for the town of Port Hawkesbury, and are still definitely employing that flexibility as things are changing from hour to hour and day to day. So that document will see some changes as things evolve, and certainly council has definitely stepped up in a big way. Things are definitely changing. It's new terrain. Certainly trying to manage a town in the wake of a pandemic, and we've moved to virtual meetings with regard to town council and senior staff, and we're debriefing every single Monday evening as a council, and continuing to manage the town as we ordinarily would, and employing additional meetings where needed of an emergency nature to deal with that very fluid change with regard to COVID-19. Again, that's hour by hour and day by day. So kudos to council, and kudos to our town staff, and also to our town citizens, and especially our frontline workers. I mean, this is definitely uncharted territory. People are certainly frightened and apprehensive. And again, in that environment, there's still tremendous shows of compassion and caring and community connections, even though social and physical distancing are what's going to keep us safe and flatten the curve for COVID-19.
Mayor Chisholm-Beaton, like many other municipal councils in our area, Port Hawkesbury has stopped having public meetings. And originally this started out as simply the media and the public not coming to the meetings, but now Port Hawkesbury councillors aren't actually gathering together in the same room to follow with COVID-19 social distancing protocols. So how are you folks able to carry out your business together even though you're required to stay apart?
We have been using, as council, GoToMeetings as our meeting platform, our virtual meeting platform, I should add. It's been working quite well. At this point, in terms of a learning curve, we are able to record GoToMeetings so that we can share that with citizens and with media. And additionally, we're looking into, is it possible to have GoToMeetings live streamed in real time? So we're continuing to kind of navigate our way through the GoToMeetings technology and to see how we can employ it in a way that both media and our citizens were used to previously before this pandemic. And again, we have myself as mayor. I've certainly been sitting in a lot of virtual meetings using various platforms, so there has been a little bit of a learning curve. I've been using Zoom meetings and Microsoft Teams meetings, and it's, we're making it work, as well as conference call style meetings. So again, the social distancing, is a real thing, and we are able to navigate our way around that and still ensure business continuity, still ensure that we are dealing with that changing hour to hour, changing day to day, and ensuring that we're still providing the best services that we can and the best information that we can to citizens, to council, and to senior staff. So again, every single day we are paying attention. Every single day our town's senior staff and staff that are still feet on the ground are meeting virtually every single morning, and reports are going out to council every single day with regard to where we are as a town, which buildings are continuing to be closed to the public, how we are managing our workforce, and how we are continuing to provide services, the essential services to the town that they need during this time, and any time, really, like potable, clean drinking water, wastewater, all of the, like snow removal. We've had some storms in the midst of this pandemic, and have been working out strategies so that we have our public works staff clearing roads on shifts, so that we have 2 shifts doing the work versus 1 shift. That would definitely, if there were spread for 1 shift, then that we don't have the redundancy. So that's why we're using 2 shifts of snow removal public works staff. So again, these are all strategies that we're employing to try to navigate our way through the changing world of the COVID-19 pandemic, and just really trying to do our best and staying open-minded and ensuring that we are listening to what the province is saying, listening to what the federal government is saying, and employing all that we need to do to keep our citizens safe and informed.
Now, obviously, Mayor Chisholm-Beaton, the town's highest priority, and yours as well, is the safety of its citizens. That being said, I imagine there must have been a bit of hand-wringing over the timing of these announcements regarding social distancing for a couple of reasons. It means that there will be a delay, as the town has already announced, on a Green Cart Organics collection program that was supposed to roll out later this month. And as well, the town had just taken over the fitness center at the Port Hawkesbury Civic Center from the Cape Breton YMCA following its departure, and Port Hawkesbury officials had just launched a new Fit Pass program to be able to encourage residents to use both the fitness center and other recreational facilities around Port Hawkesbury. So can you talk to us a little bit about how difficult it's been to be able to make these decisions and suspend these activities for an indefinite period of time?
I do have to say that during these times where we've had to make extremely difficult decisions around the closures of our recreation facilities, citizens have been super understanding, and they get the social distancing. They get that we're now living in a world where, yes, we need to stay active, we need to exercise, but it has to be for our physical health, not for socializing. So some of the changes that we have employed, particularly I'll use the fitness facility, for example, there was definitely tremendous optimism and excitement around the new Fit Pass, having an integrated recreation plan membership so that you could use the pool, you could use the gym, all of our drop-in, whether it's at the Stair gym or whether it's in the dance studio and fitness programming, whether it's skating. So, I mean, that was a very, very exciting program that the town has created. It is on hold now, of course, and I have full confidence that once we get to a point where we are able to once again open that facility, that it will take a little bit of work to get that, to build momentum again. And again, I think after this is all said and done, it will be a new normal. So I don't think that some of the things we're doing now should change. We still need to be super vigilant in terms of cleaning, sanitizing, making sure that, because not only with COVID-19, but, this opens a whole new world of possibilities of future risk and pandemic. The spread of disease, I think, has become hyper-aware and on people's minds. So there's some things I think that probably won't change after this pandemic, but I do appreciate the fact that our citizens and the citizens also living in our region have been very understanding of some of the tough decisions.
As mayor, you've put a high priority on making sure that accurate information gets out to Port Hawkesbury residents and those in the surrounding communities. And one of the biggest examples of that was a situation involving the closure of Port Hawkesbury's Ultramar gas station. That happened near the end of March when it was determined that one of the employees there had shown symptoms of COVID-19 and was self-isolating. You put a high priority on making sure that the proper information got out and cut through the gossip that was arising. Can you tell us a little bit about that situation?
Absolutely. Right now, communications and facts are what will see us through during these times of uncertainty. And it's so important that we are making common sense decisions for ourselves. And regardless of the outcome of Ultramar, all citizens should be taking all of the precautions and all of the mandates that's been set by Dr. Strang 100% seriously, 100% of the time. So rumors and stories were really running rampant in the town with regard to the Ultramar. In the absence of information, I think people were injecting their own realities as to why there was a cleaning crew there present and why the store was closed. It can be incredibly damaging to a small business when people are running with rumors and running with things that may be true but may not be true as well. And just witnessing the some of the hurtful comments it was hard, not just as a mayor but as a business owner. It's so important that we understand the facts, and also it's so important that we as a community make sure that COVID-19 is not infecting our humanity, our compassion. If somebody had tested positive at that business, we should be compassionate and understanding and always careful. We need to take responsibility for our own safety. So it wasn't a positive result, and that did create some relief in our community. But at the end of the day, we need to act in accordance to what Dr. Strang is saying in social distancing. And it would seem to me that it's better to assume that everybody is COVID-19 positive, so that we are always being hyper-vigilant in terms of washing our hands, maintaining 6 feet of distance, and only leaving our homes when it's in pursuit of some either essential services or items or groceries or going to the pharmacy. So these are the rules that have been set by Dr. Strang, and he has the best. He wants to make sure that our province remains safe, that we're flattening the curve, that we're doing it together. And I really do believe in the 3 C's that he has been, sharing with the province from day one, and that's caring and community and common sense. The reason why I took a proactive role on social media about inviting citizens to look or at least wait for factual information, because in the absence of factual information, a few things can happen. Damage to a business can occur. It could create a bad situation for the employees at a business, for example. We live in a time where we just have to be compassionate, and we have to, always look at the fact that we're in this together. We're in this together as a town, as a region, as a province, and being in a position where it's us versus them is not going to be helpful. Making decisions or reacting to fear is not going to be helpful. So facts and communication are definitely key. And at the end of the day, it was a good news story that the employee that was tested, it was a negative result. And thank God for that, for the employee, for the whole store, for the business. But any store, we have frontline workers that are enabling our citizens to be able to get the essentials that they need. So we have to be compassionate, and we have to take our own health. We have to take responsibility for that as individuals.
As you're talking about being on the front line, especially within the local business community, you've experienced difficult decisions not just as the mayor, but as a business owner yourself. Of course, you and your father, Archie Chisholm, run the Fleur de Lis dining room here in Port Hawkesbury, and you had to make difficult decisions about going from full service to takeout and then eventually to shutting down the whole restaurant entirely for the time being. Not unlike many other business owners here in the Strait area, could you share a little bit of that perspective for us, Mayor Chisholm-Beaton?
We really were paying attention. I recall it was a Sunday about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I wanted to sit down and talk to the staff, to take their temperature, to see what they were feeling, and the plan that we came up with was one that we came up with together. So again, I was able to share the facts of what was happening at the provincial level and at the federal level with staff, and how are they feeling in terms of continued operations and what, so it was a plan that we came up with together. It wasn't something that my father and I decided and imposed on them. We came up with the plan together. So the plan that we came up with that Sunday was to follow the advice of Dr. Strang to ensure that all of the tables in the restaurant were a minimum of 6 feet apart. So we thinned out all of the tables with the intention that we were going to proceed with a takeout-only scenario. And the staff that were comfortable with that plan stayed on as working staff. The staff who were uncomfortable in the present climate, agreed that they would prefer to have a layoff. And so it was a very, very amicable decision. It was done together. And so we did have at least half of our staff, voluntarily wanted a layoff. And you have to respect your employees and how they're feeling. And so that's the route that we took. And as the week progressed, we did transition to takeout for the Thursday and the Friday after we implemented the plan. And the takeout option, we tried it out to see how it would work. But at the end of the day, we just thought that the risk to our staff and the risk of transmission, particularly when the province entered into a state of emergency, for us, what made us, feel like we can go to sleep easier at night, and for our staff, was to close altogether. So we definitely wanted to make sure that our closure had the best impact on the community. So we took as much of our perishables as possible down to the food bank the following Monday, and distributed some food to staff, and closed shop until it will be safe to once again open. And I do commend all of the businesses that have created accommodations and have, implemented safety mechanisms, physical safety mechanisms as well as procedural safety mechanisms to be able to continue to provide essential services to citizens. I commend them, and I commend all of our frontline workers. It's definitely not an easy environment to be working in right now, and our frontline workers are definitely at more risk than the average citizen who is practicing social distancing. So I really do hope that every single person, whether they're a frontline worker, whether they're a citizen, is wash hands, maintain 6 feet or more distance, and only leave your home for absolutely essential purposes.
Finally, Mayor Chisholm-Beaton, we know that this has hit home on many levels for so many different people. You yourself are not only the mayor and a business owner here in Port Hawkesbury, but you have a family, you have two children, and you have a lot of people in the community who can't really understand what all this is about right now. What do you say to people who are anxious about COVID-19 and about the current state of the pandemic?
Well, what I say to any citizens who reach out, any of my friends or family who've reached out to express just how difficult this has been, I let them know that what they're feeling is absolutely normal, and everybody is reacting differently to the mandate to stay at home as much as possible. For individuals who are mandated to cut themselves off completely for a 14-day period of isolation. I mean, it's very difficult, and it's unprecedented. So what I would say to any citizen or any of my friends or family or my children is that, we may be physically distanced, but communication is still something that is very effective through technology. So I would invite really anybody who's having a tough time, reach out to a friend, reach out to family via phone or FaceTime, or you could use Zoom, and have those honest conversations. And if there are some also provincial contacts that, if you don't have somebody in your social network that you can talk to, that you definitely reach out to someone and talk it out, because communication is still something that's very much a possibility, even though that distance may divide us.
Well, we have greatly appreciated you giving us some time here to share your thoughts on all of this. Mayor Brenda Chisholm-Beaton of the town of Port Hawkesbury, thank you for joining us on Telile 24/7, and we hope to catch up with you again very soon.